What else can you do to, like, maybe you're seeing something, I really want to talk to that person, but like don't really know how to start?
Clarity of intention, and having that intention be almost third-party verified. Any schmuck can have an intention. I want to get laid. I want to get rich. I want to get skinny.
Hey guys, I'm here with David Gonzales. And David here runs this event called the Internet Marketing Party, and that was just the 10-year anniversary.
Thanks. Yeah.
And David here is a super connector, so he like knows everybody. And I go to events, and you probably go to events, and I go to David's events every now and then, and I have my own events, and I see people going to these events and failing at networking. You know, there's a guy that just tries to sell you something, and so like a lot of people don't know how to network. So what would you say, what's the best way to go about it?
Well, as we talked about for a second before we started, there are people that have this process codified way better than I do, because I'm more of an organic networker. I love networking, and I hate the word. Like most,
Right.
even people that don't like networking hate the word. So it's one of those weird things that when it's done right, like nobody likes a salesperson, but when someone's good at selling, you like buying from them, right? So I kind of feel like a good networker is somebody you enjoy conversing with. So if you know the art and the skill of conversation, then you are automatically a good networker. It doesn't matter whether it's at an event with 1,000 people or a small intimate dinner party with 6 people, or even if you have one friend over to share with you on a podcast or a video blog. Like, technically speaking, you could argue that we're networking right now with our invisible...
Totally.
In that moment that you're watching this, you are no longer invisible. You have become real. It's like Schrodinger's kind of thing. And I don't mean to sound metaphysical, but at the end of the day, you and me are having a conversation.
Right.
Then that conversation is being transferred to the viewer right now. But if we were all at an event, technically speaking, we're either going to step away from the crowd and just have a one-on-one. Like sometimes a speaker comes off the stage and the people crowd them. You'll notice sometimes if somebody is really prominent, they can pull the speaker away from the crowd. You've seen that happen, right?
Totally.
Like if you know, like they're like, who's that? And they're like, that's the head of operations at Google. And everybody's like, oh, like don't even try and listen. Like give them, even if you're in a crowded room, right? So that leads to the idea of like, know, when I say know your place, I don't mean that as in like at the end of the day, like we're all created equal, right? Like equally, like we're all our astronauts on this spaceship Earth, right? So like nobody's better than anybody. And in the context of business, sometimes it's worth giving credence and paying attention to pecking order. Meaning if you're brand new in an industry and you have a vision and a goal and an idea of where you want to be, there's a giant gap between there in time and experience and energy and attention and education and intellectual property. There's all the assets that you could possibly amass to get you from there to there in a shorter amount of time. Like if you've got a lot of capital, you can show up at an event. If you had $100 million liquid in your bank account, you can show up to pretty much any event and don't have to pay the same kind of pecking order attention, because they probably would like some of that money.
Yeah. So it's hard to go and like connect to A-list celebrities, but rather connect with people at your own level and grow together.
It depends. If you have a vision or a mission that is in alignment with a A-lister or a celebrity or a keynote speaker or someone in a position of authority, influence, or power, then if you can identify what that is before you get to the event, even if you're not yet well-heeled in that industry, you can create a sense of alignment if you pay attention to the right things. I've had it be to where somebody putting on an event with thousands of people will come and have a conversation with me about yoga or like their kids, because they need a break. Imagine if you were swimming across the English Channel and you just needed like a buoy to like, So there's not a right or a wrong way to do it. It's just like, know where you are, what your vision is, what are your assets, and who your person that you're networking is, and like be on the outside enough that you can know like, hey, this person's really stressed out. I'm not even gonna take the moment that it would take to say, hey, Pep, good to see you. There will be times at an event where if I see you, Pep, and I consider you to be we've known each other for about 10 years, right? We've had dinner, we've seen the sunrise kind of things. Like, we've had a lot of different experiences, some more intimate, some more business. But if I go to the right event and I see that you're in control of that environment and there's a flow with you, and especially someone of prominence, or even if it's a customer that like is a low paying customer, but I get a sense that you're dialed in with that person, I'm not going to interrupt that. And then later I can actually have that be a more powerful networking thing where I can say, hey Pep, I saw that you were really engaged. I didn't want to pull you away from it. Yeah. You'll respect me more, and now you'll want to go have dinner with me instead of just small talk where we take a selfie with the stupid lanyards. And that doesn't have the same level of...
Absolutely. It's like you pay attention, like you care, you put some thought in it. Yeah. So besides being a great, being great at having conversations and just making a human connection, what else can you do to, like, maybe you're seeing something, I really want to talk to that person, but like don't really know how to start or go.
You've led right into the next thing, which is, I alluded to it, but I don't think I did a good enough job of clarifying what it is. It's clarity of intention. And having that intention be almost third-party verified, because any schmuck can have an intention. I want to get laid. I want to get rich. I want to get skinny. But do you have a trusted advisor, whether it's a business partner, a consultant, a spouse, that you can say, hey, my intention for this event that I'm going to is X. Where do you see the flaws in that? Well, that's pretty big, what you're looking for. Or I think you should go there with a bigger intention. Like, get clarity on your intention with a third party that you trust and respect, so that then when you're interacting with people, the conversations are geared towards those intentions. Because sometimes you need to go deep to hit a certain intention, but that one conversation with the right person could be all you need to score $100 million deal, right? Or it could be that your intention is to land a job. Your intention could be to find a copywriter. Your intention could be to get laid. What's your intention? And then get clear on that. Talk it out with a couple of people on your team, and then I think that's a good use of your time, Pep. Instead of you being here, landing more deals, helping more clients, and learning how to scale the membership site, I think you're best served with that intention at that conference called, Internet Marketing Party, or Baby Bathwater, or Mastermind Talks, or whatever the thing, what's the event, right? Or maybe even going to have dinner with Tim Ferriss. You're best served going with the intention of having dinner with Tim Ferriss when this is the intention. That's going to have the probability of making you $80,000, where you being on the phone with clients can only make us $20,000. So then you get clear on the intention, you go and you have conversations, always having that almost like a radar in the background. Dude. And I started getting good at the intention part when I partnered with my business partner, Gonzalo, who I think you've met. And he just is very big on intention. What's the intention? What's the intention? What's the intention? Because your intention creates your reality. Literally. That you've played that game where it's like, hey, let's, for the next 15 seconds, make a note of everything in the room that is green, and then you're like, and then you point at the things, and then you're like, okay, close your eyes and tell me everything in the room that is brown.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, I wasn't. So where we put our attention literally creates our reality. So it's not even like that's a funny, interesting, look, did you see what he did there on the slide? No, it's all moments. Every moment we're just, our attention. I have a friend that's a psychologist that he says every moment of the day all we're looking to do is know that we're safe. Like we have our reticular activate, no matter what, like at all moments. And once you feel like you're safe, then you can do the next thing, right?
Totally.
You know, like, so when people are in networking, a lot of times they don't feel safe.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, they feel, and I'm not talking about like somebody's gonna come in and do a mass shooting, right? Although these days,
what if I get it? Oh, these days,
right.
But like, I might be embarrassed, and somebody, you know, might
or
think I'm stupid,
or maybe somebody
yeah.
that I have bad debt from 20 years ago walks in, or like we all have those skeletons in our closet. Or like, what if my alcoholic sister walks in, or like, what if my employee decides they want to ask for a raise 5 minutes before? Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the wild. So yeah, having an intention, moving in that direction, creating conversations around that, creating connection with the people that are going to help with those intentions, that makes you a hot topic instead of a commodity at that event.
If you want more interviews like this, subscribe to my channel.